Hello, everybody out there, and welcome to another episode of the Talk That Talk Show with me, Barry Holmes. We are here today on a Sunday. It's been an action-packed week. I'm just super excited to come back home here and give you guys another episode of the Talk That Talk Show. Big shout out to Hawks6860 who's in on our Instagram live stream, and then also everyone that's also on our Facebook live stream as well too. Big shout out to Robert Brantley Jr., my brother Tyree Holmes. First and foremost, the thing that I gotta say first to all the people that are tuned in, especially Daddy Life 101. Big shout out to Antoine, my boy Brian Bloom as well too. But I want to say a happy Father's Day to everyone tuning in, especially all of our fathers out there, whether you're young or older. I really appreciate, at least what my father, has done for me throughout my life. And, just his influence, is pretty much how I carry myself every single day. A lot of the things and the ideals that he's, taught me and pretty much instilled in me are the things that make me who I am and carry me through. And, it was important to me because I remember one thing that Sayed said. He was upset one time because he's like, for everything I do, I don't want no fucking socks. Don't give me no socks. And, it was a funny joke. But I think for us, I can't say us because I'm not a father. But I think sometimes for fathers, times they can feel overlooked for all the things that they do. And I just thought that it was very important for me to, when gifting for my father, just to try and think of something thoughtful and with appreciation. And I think that most times, especially even with Doc, getting her father her favorite nuts or something like that. I think that when gifting for your father, just thinking for something thoughtful, for them is probably the best thing that's going to work out for you. I was able to get my dad a couple rounds of golf, and I was happy about that because I know how much he does golf. So, again, to have things that are actually thoughtful and not just picking something off the rack and just giving it to someone. I think that it goes a far way as far as showing them that you do appreciate them. And, I think that, this, kind of Father's Day was a little bit more of like a Father's Week for us because me and my father and my brother got the opportunity to go out and fly out to Vegas. And, it was really awesome, man. I enjoyed it. I think that, especially with, my brother having moved out and, with different things that we're working on, passions, goal searching, just figuring things out day by day. Oftentimes, with our schedules, we're not able to, venture out as much as we'd like to or go on vacation as often. But, this trip that we took to Vegas wasn't just to go out there and gamble, but we actually got to go out there because pre-pandemic, a guy by the name of Jeff Chin had asked us if we wanted to bowl nationals. And I think for a long time, doing well in league, was enough, and now, the idea of nationals didn't really interest me. And a thing that can attribute that is not being financially as stable as I was before. So, I was in a position to go, to Vegas, and I think that, when the pandemic hit, it kind of just threw all of our transportation, all of our plans, off. And we weren't able to go. And for 2 years, we talked about trying to make this trip happen. And finally, all the ducks aligned for us to be able to go out to Vegas. And, like I said, with this being Father's Day week for us, we got to really, go out of somewhere different and spend time with our pops, man. And, bowling was the forefront of the trip. But, towards, once the bowling was done, it kind of, pushed back, what I'm saying? And we got to really just put enjoyment at the forefront of our trip, Bowling wise, I was able to tackle one of my goals and trying to go out there and shoot a 600 and average over 200 for a set. at Nationals. Big shout out to Eric Rivera on our Instagram live stream. But I wanted to go out there and prove something. And I think it was something surreal about going through the entire event, because most times when you go to like local tournaments, it's just not as well done. And I think for us, it was just such a big experience to go in there and have to go get your balls inspected and make sure that everything's legal. Being walked out onto the lanes and seeing the crowd there to see you bowl. It was like I said, it was an amazing experience. I had never been to a bowling alley like that before that was as big, and it was some tough lanes, man. The shot was a sports shot, so whatever your average was, they took 20 pins off your average to make it fair for you, and the shot, make no mistake, was brutal. But my first set there, I was able to shoot a 618 and won myself some money. So I was really happy about that. But the following two sets, the next day, I don't know, we were up late at night because when we had first flown in Tuesday, obviously changing time zones was a big difference for us. So then to bowl the next night at 9:30 at night, to then come back and bowl at 7 a.m., it was just a lot on our bodies. And I think that following day, I just didn't have anything left in the tank. So when it came down to throwing the ball as hard as I needed to with confidence, I just wasn't able to do that. So, I had some disappointing sets the next day, but I didn't want that to take away from, the overall greatness of the trip and the accomplishment of what I did was shooting a 618, which is, no easy task given what that shot was. So, I think above all, the trip was amazing. To be able to go to all the different local eateries. I think when we go to different spots, I know Google Maps, they should probably sponsor me because I use Google Maps all the time trying to figure out different places that we should venture to. And, it wound up being pretty good because we wound up going to this one place, I think it was called like Blue Hill or something like that, Blueberry Hill. It was very good brunch spot, reminded me of Edison Diner or some of the IHOPs that we've seen around. But it was just real high quality food. And then there was like this drive up burrito spot called I think it was like Los Famosas or something like that. And it was like a giant carne asada burrito that was absolutely fantastic. Then of course, we had to do In-N-Out Burger. I was surprised at some of the different dispensaries that we were able to hit out there. Got to hit up Cookies, Jardine, Pesos. There was some great things out there. I think the experience of seeing what else is out there aside from where you're used to going every single day, it's something that we all enjoy. And then obviously the Strip, to be able to go and link up with my boy Eric Wolfram, who was celebrating his birthday. Big shout out to Eric. So, I hadn't seen that guy in almost 6-7 years, back in the old $2 Tuesday days of Fox and Hound. So to be able to be so many miles away and still know somebody from home, it meant something cool. And, on his birthday to want to come, spend some time with me and celebrate together, it was dope, man. So we got to go on the Strip, see some very interesting things on the Strip, take a part of that. Really enjoyed the casino aspect. I think that with sports betting obviously still being legal in New Jersey, but just having the accessibility to make those sports bets in Vegas just as accessibly as home, made it really dope. I was able to go 2 for 3 on some sports bets. Warriors wound up pushing me through, but I think that overall my favorite thing, besides playing 3-card poker or besides playing video roulette, for being in Vegas, definitely had to be Circa. Big shout out to Techno Jeff, my boy Jeffrey Farrell on Instagram Live, because he sent me I think he sent me a post on Instagram. He was like, yo, this is where you need to go, man. Circa is popping. And it was like this giant like stadium-sized billboard. Think of like if you're at Citi Field or Yankee Stadium and you got the big jumbotron. They had all the different sporting events games on there. And in 117, what was it, 115 degree weather, we got to go and watch the NBA Finals inside of the pool with some cocktails. And, it felt very baller-esque. But, to be able to relax and, again, experience something different. Where in Edison, New Jersey can I go in the pool and watch, games like that? It's not possible. So I think that above all, like when you go out to, vacation or go to these other places, just, don't limit yourself, man. You might not get a chance to go to this place again. So, my advice to anybody that's vacationing, do anything and everything. You know what I'm saying? Don't leave anything out. If you want to go to a place, make sure you go to that place, man, because, you work hard and, you do everything that you need to do. So, there's no point in not trying to treat yourself. And that's what me and my father got to do, and my brother, for our Father's Day week, man. And then to come here and, share gifts with my father, set up the show so he didn't have to do it today. It's little things like that I think go a long way in, showing our appreciation and just making the Father's Day a good one, man. So, we had a great trip in Vegas, had a great day here today, and, I'm just happy to be home. I think that it's so great to be away, but after a while, of being away, you kind of want to feel, back at home again. And I know we're going to be right back on the road next weekend to go to Hershey, Pennsylvania for our next bowling tournament. But, as I put in his Father's Day card, I really do enjoy our trips and just going places and doing different things, man. And, for a lot of people out there, they are celebrating Father's Day but don't have their fathers with them. So that's another thing. I'm just very happy that, my father's healthy. He's able to do things with us. He may be walking a little bit slower in the airport than he used to, but he's still there and he's still able to do things with us, go golfing. And, I'm just happy to enjoy my time with him, doing different things, because like I said, there's a lot of people that are celebrating Father's Day that don't have their fathers. And I definitely want to extend out to those people too that are celebrating without their fathers. We're thinking of you, and just remember the good times with your father. I think that it's just such an important thing to do, to show your appreciation for those people that do support you. And I think that Father's Day is definitely something that you got to put on there, and thank them for all the things that they've done, because it's it's a big day. It's a big day. But one thing that NBA Finals did, or the Warriors did, was they made the Boston Celtics their sons. They sunned the Boston Celtics, and I said it before on podcasts earlier. I said how the Warriors were gonna win in 6. So I just want to say, guys, you got to start listening to the Talk That Talk show, because I'm trying to give you guys some free advice here, but it's up to you guys whether you want to take it or not, But all I got to say is that, hey, Klay Thompson, Steph Curry, Andrew Wiggins, what story do you want to talk about? I mean, first things first, you got to go with Klay Thompson. The guy missed over 900 days. He tore his ACL in a finals game where if he was playing, they probably could have won that finals, right? Then coming back, he tears his Achilles in practice just to come back, to try and win a chip. And then he does it in the return season, 900 days after hurting himself. I think that his story really speaks to all of us out there, in that you really can do anything that you want if you put your mind to it. There are going to be a lot of things that test us as people, test our willpower. Not a lot of people want to continue to push forward. Sometimes people catch L's and they quit, and that's human nature. But, for Klay Thompson to go out there and continue to grind, put forth his goals in front of him and grind towards them, it's something that you got to take to heart and take to mind, and you have no choice but to let it fuel yourself. Then you have a Steph Curry who's been always putting on for the Warriors, changed the game as far as three-point shooting and what's a good shot. Went through one of his worst shooting performances ever in the finals. He broke his streak of not shooting a three-pointer in every playoff game and every pretty much regular season. I think the last time was like 2018 and 2017 when he didn't make a three-pointer. So I'm sure that people were questioning them going down and losing the first game to the Celtics. You had people like Stephen A. saying that the Warriors were in trouble. I think that Steph is someone that, even though he's had such success, still feels like he has something to prove, and that's what makes him so dangerous. A lot of people get to the mountaintop and don't feel like they have much more to prove, and I think that's why sometimes when people win chips, they retire because they're like, oh, I've done what I've accomplished. But, still Steph Curry remains hungry to keep this dynasty alive, and I think that is very, very admirable. Then, who I think was the real MVP for the Warriors, Andrew Wiggins, man. That guy balled out, and, coming into a contract year, they're going to have to pay that guy. I think that the Warriors, in the same way that Kevin Durant helped propel that team forward, that's what Andrew Wiggins did. He may not have been the scoring production that, KD did, but there were times where that Warriors team couldn't buy a bucket. And they could rely on giving it to Andrew Wiggins to shake whoever it was, Marcus Smart, the defensive player of the year, saucing him, or whether it was Jason Tatum. Andrew Wiggins just proved a lot of people wrong who gave up on him. He was the number one pick, and the Minnesota Timberwolves gave up on him. There was people that doubted whether he could still play at an elite level, if he could fit into the system, and he's proven as an NBA champion that he is going to earn the massive paycheck that he did. Hawk says he completely dominated Tatum on both sides of the court. It was amazing to watch, man, I'm telling you, because, I think that I was one of those people that may have doubted Andrew Wiggins. I remember when he was an all-star, I was like, how the fuck did this guy become an all-star, He almost plays like a diet Kawhi Leonard type of game where there's nothing really flashy to it, but he just always seems to succeed offensively. And what we saw from Andrew Wiggins was he took that team when Steph Curry could not buy a bucket, when Klay Thompson throughout the playoffs up until the finals could not find his range or his confidence. You had a guy in Andrew Wiggins who you could depend on. And, I think that that's where, this narrative kind of goes. Signing or re-signing Andrew Wiggins has to be the Golden State Warriors' number one priority. You got to bring this guy back. You got to do whatever it takes. Whatever the price tag is for Andrew Wiggins to come back, you pay that. Because you wouldn't have the fourth chip if it wasn't for Wiggins. And then another guy, Jordan Poole, who stepped in when Steph Curry was hurt and really earned his confidence in his role within the team. And at times, hasn't played as much for that Warriors team. But, he really has embraced his role and stayed ready. I think that a lot of guys, when they get on the bench or they don't start, they kind of regress or they lose that confidence within themselves. But it always seems like, with Jordan Poole, he's continuing to get better. And, he's had some almost microwave-ish moments where he continues to, rock out and put that team forward on a bench unit. I think that's what makes that team so dangerous. And he's another guy who was in the last year of his rookie contract who they need to make re-signing a priority. And then I think after you think about the Warriors, I think the next storyline is, what happens next? Does Boston make it back to the finals? Can they? Do you truly believe in Jason Tatum? Is Jaylen Brown still the answer? Does Marcus Smart need to work on his game offensively? A lot of things need to happen. And I think that Boston suffers a different scenario than I think the Warriors, because the Warriors, even though they have some issues with trying to re-sign guys, they still have their core unit intact. And they still, when they have that unit intact, there's nobody within that Western Conference besides maybe the Memphis Grizzlies, maybe the Dallas Mavericks, can actually give them a run for their money. And I say that strong maybe because I don't want to say anybody can't do it, right? But that's the way the Warriors been playing. Now, on the Eastern Conference side of things, you have Miami, who was just maybe a jump shot away from beating Boston, who I think is going to be, you got to have them as favorites to maybe come out of the East, right? Then you talk about the Bucks, who were playing without Chris Middleton. What does that series look like if they have a healthy unit, right? You have teams like Philadelphia, Baltimore? Not Baltimore. Brooklyn, who will be having, Ben Simmons coming back. There's a lot of things and factors in the East. Maybe the Knicks make a resurgence. There's a lot of things in the East that kind of play into not the Celtics repeating. But, we have that boy Hurd who says Celtics in 6 next year. You got to love the confidence in his squad. I enjoyed watching how hard Boston plays. And I think that if anybody in the East is going to try and represent the East, I think they're going to have to try and play with that same fire and desire that Boston did. And I think that that's what old school Eastern Conference basketball revolved around. Is just, tough, grinded out ball. And then one of the things that I did see in the media that was kind of funny because, me personally, I love my Yeezy Slides. I've been wearing them every day. I survived Vegas with my black Yeezy Slides. Excuse me, but, Yeezy Slides have definitely, made their mark, I guess you could say, on fashion. And some people like them, some people don't. But everyone seems to have an opinion on them. And what we've now seen is that kind of similar where the Bisons, where everybody's starting to wear or make new Bison hats. Now different companies, even Adidas themselves, are trying to make ripoffs or knockoffs of the Yeezy shoe. So you have Nike, who did like an Air Force One slide, which it looks crazy. I'm not gonna lie, it doesn't look great. Then you have the Adidas one, which is called the Adilet 22. It's not it, guys. And I think that, imitation oftentimes is the biggest form of flattery, you know what I'm saying? And I think all that says is that it speaks to the impact that the Yeezy slide or the Yeezy brand has had on sneaker culture. There used to be a time where if you didn't have Jordans, that wasn't it. You weren't wearing nothing else. And now what Yeezy has is he's taking a lot of those Nike loyal people. I was one of those Nike loyal people, but now I will rock a pair of Adidas Yeezys, And I think that with, other big nine, I saw somebody got a pair off of Amazon, you know what I'm saying? And it's crazy how all these different people are starting to try and knock off this Yeezy brand slide, but I think it just speaks to just how good of a shoe it is, man. I know for me, it's not exactly the look for me in the Yeezy slide. It's about that comfortability, man. And above all, like my boy Bones Brim says, buy what you like. But for me, I think that, that Yeezy brand, especially with the shoes and the colorways that these come out with, they've really made a mark on our shoe culture, man. And it's gotten me reinterested back into the shoe culture. And then, in closing, I definitely want to talk to you guys about a game that I played on my plane flight that helped to take a little bit of the time down. Was a game called Super Mario Strikers on Nintendo Switch. You might have heard about that game originally on GameCube. It was an amazing game. And this one is just as smooth on the Switch. I think that with soccer being sometimes complicated, they did a great job of making seamless controls on your Switch, whether you're playing on handheld or through the docking station on the TV. It's definitely a game that you're going to want to play and play again and again and again. I definitely had enjoyment with playing with the different characters, seeing what the different boosts are and how they can try and score in their multiple different ways. And I think that that game gives it depth to where you don't feel like you're playing the same game over and over again. But the one thing about Mario sports games is the same thing that happens with 2K or Madden. After a while, you lose that shelf life or you get bored with it. It seems like it's the same game over and over again, right? But, I want to see, as I continue to play this game, what the story mode is going to look like and if it can keep me enticed. But as far as gameplay wise and as far as, first impressions, I really like this game. If you kind of stepped away from your Nintendo Switch and you're looking for a game to kind of bring you back into playing it, you're definitely going to want to look at Mario Strikers. It was definitely a dope game. I think it's Mario Strikers Battle League on the Switch. And I think back on GameCube, there was no online play. So to be able to play online with some good players too, I think that online play on top of, integrating those old gameplays from GameCube is another thing that kind of stands this game apart, and is going to be one why you want to put into your arsenal, man. So if you have a Nintendo Switch, check it out. Super Mario Strikers Battle League, definitely a dope game. But once again, another episode of Talk That Talk Show in the books. Episode 162 here for you. We're always live on Instagram Live, Facebook Live, Spotify, Google Podcasts, Apple Podcasts, iHeartRadio, Stitcher, you name it, we are on it. And, I think that, like I said, to be able to go away for the week and come back here on a Sunday and share an episode with you guys and tell you about some of the things that have been happening in my life and reflect on some of the things that's been going on in sports. It's one of the greatest responsibilities I feel like I have in my life. Big shout out to my boy Savion Gaynor on our Instagram Live. But, it's a responsibility that I don't take lightly, and I just appreciate it for it, man. This show has taught me a lot about myself, and it's taught me a lot about the people that I surround myself with. And, each and every day I'm trying to get better as a person, as a podcaster, as a show. And I just appreciate you all for, staying patient with me and being supportive and rocking out with me every single week. 162 episodes is not an easy thing to do. And, not too long from now, we're going to be possibly thinking about that 200 episodes and where we can have that 200th episode show at, man. So, it's right around the corner. I think that's the beautiful thing of consistency. When you consistently do things the right way, the end game, the goal, it becomes clearer and clearer and more in sight. So I think that, if you can stay consistent in the things that you want to achieve and, keep your passion and keep your drive up to be able to achieve those dreams, there's no telling what you can do. I had no idea I could go out to nationals and shoot a 618. And I had no idea that I thought I had it conquered and could get my dick kicked in by the lanes, man. But I do believe that just staying humble and staying ready, it will put you in the better positions to succeed, man. And I'm just happy to have been able to do that in a Talk That Talk Show jersey, and with my family, with my brother and my father there, man. It's definitely been a great week. Vegas treated me well. Got this nice jersey from Vegas, but it was time to come home, man. With coming home, there's a lot of things that I have on my table that I want to do. The job searching has been ramped up to the max. Coming into the summertime, I think trying to become a better bowler and finishing up the summer league the right way and putting ourselves in a position to win some money are definitely some things on my mind. Then also trying to maintain my physical health. I'm going to be 32 next month. The time literally is flying by, and I just want to make sure that I enjoy this time however it is that I have on this earth. Just want to spend my time doing things that I like and becoming a better person each day I open my eyes. So once again, thank you guys so much for tuning in to the Talk That Talk Show. Big shout out to my boy Gavin Coast on our Facebook live stream. I love you all. Thank you so much. Happy Father's Day to all our fathers out there. Also a big happy Father's Day to all those people who do not have their fathers with them. I'm thinking about you. I appreciate you guys so much. Episode 163 will be ready for you guys next week. Just be ready and tuned in, man. Check us out on TalkThatTalkShow.com. Subscribe to our YouTube channel. Guys, you're the biggest and best support for me. and the reason why we've been able to make it to 162 episodes next week. So I appreciate you all, and I will see you all next week.